I'm John Merritt, along with Marvin Sullivan.
Hello.
And this is Tales from a Texas Prison. Episode 3 tonight, Fights in Texas Prison. Now, Marvin, we were just discussing whether or not weapons were used in most fights. I assume that most fights in prison would be just ordinary fist fights. A lot of men in the same space. They're all confined. Tempers are going to flare, and there's going to be fights. But there's different reasons for fights in prison, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
What do you think's the most common reason for a fight in Texas prison?
Disrespect.
Well, that seems like nothing to me. Disrespect.
Yes. Well, disrespect can't be tolerated.
I mean, I can see if somebody stole your dessert, or if somebody steals your commissary, or if somebody talks bad about you. I guess that's disrespect, isn't it?
Just raising your voice to somebody is considered.
Is that right?
Just raising your voice, talking to somebody in a out of a character way.
Or maybe embarrass you in front of
Yeah, if you
your friends.
Yeah, well, I mean, or sometimes people, checking you on the cool.
Now, just before we turned on the camera, I was asking you again about the fight you were in. You say it wasn't a fight, but
Well, I've been in several fights in prison.
yeah. Let's talk about that one early on when you said it was a booty bandit. Why don't you describe this particular fight and what happened, what caused it, and the details of it?
Well, basically, the guy just come at me and tried to come at me in a fashion like he was trying to punk me out, and gave me an ultimatum, and
Like he was trying to have sex with you.
yeah, exactly, and I just waited for him to go.
Like he was going to rape you.
Yeah, so I just waited
Yeah.
for him to go to sleep, and
So he didn't do anything. He just hinted that he wanted to do it.
well, he didn't.
And he was
hint,
going to check. He was going to check your reaction.
No, he tried to bow up to me and said either.
Did he put his hands
No,
on
he
you?
didn't put his hands on me, but he just tried to pressure me into it verbally, and
And where did this happen?
this happened in Angola.
No, I know that, but what part of the prison? Was it in your cell?
No, we didn't. Over there, it's all.
It was in the dormitory you
all
were in?
dorms. All
And
dorms.
what time of day did he pull this?
Oh, I can't remember what day. What day or the exact time.
Was it at night or during the day?
No, it was at the daytime or
Yeah.
something like that.
Were you new there? Is that why?
Yeah, I was new to prison.
Yeah, so he noticed you as a new fish, right?
Yeah, a guy had a lot of time too,
And you were probably a lot younger than he was.
Oh, I had a lot less time. I had a 20-year sentence, and he had, I don't know, 50, 60-year sentence.
Yeah, was he white or black?
Black.
So what happened? He talked to you and told you that he tried to punk you, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he tried to do.
And then the next day, you figure he was going to make some kind of move, right?
Well, no, I didn't even wait for the next day. That night.
No, I mean, but that's why you went on the offense.
Yeah. Well,
The best defense is a good offense, right?
Yeah.
That's probably true in prison.
Yeah, you always
more
want
than any.
Yeah, you always want to catch them by surprise.
Because when
think
you know they're going to come after you, you might as well go after them first. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Back then they didn't have safe prisons either, so it was either fight or get fucked. That's pretty much the size of it. So.
And the guards, did they know this was going on?
Oh yeah, they turned their head the other way. That was just the way prison life was then.
Yeah. And the inmates too. Everybody just ignored it.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of guys don't like it, but everybody minds their own business. And
Yeah,
keeps
it's
their
part
mouth
of
shut.
part of the no snitch code, right?
Well, everybody just knows to not mind their own business. I mean, you don't get in other people's
Okay,
business.
so what'd you do?
Well, I went to an old convict and asked him what he thought I should do, and he told me, well, you probably ain't gonna whip him physically, and if you don't want to get beat down, here's what I would do. And he told me to get some master locks and put them on the end of my belt, and wait for the guy to go to sleep, and get some hot boiling water, and boil it, and wait for him to go to sleep. And once he goes to sleep, you go down there and
Master locks.
Yes.
They let you have locks. That's pretty.
Back then, yes.
Yeah.
You had to have master locks. You had 2 lockers, and of course I borrowed a couple too. I had 3 or 4 locks on there.
So you put them on what, on your belt?
Yeah, over in Louisiana, you get that. You could buy belts, or they get from the from the craft shop or whatever. I bought mine from the craft shop.
So you got 4 locks hooked onto an end of a belt, and you
yeah.
use that like a whip, huh?
Like a club.
Like a club. So what exactly did you do then? You caught him while he was asleep?
I caught him while he was asleep, but I hit him with the hot water first.
Yeah.
Because it was hot boiling water.
Yeah.
It scalded his skin. It was that hot. I mean, I boiled it.
Poured it on his face or what?
I poured it on his chest.
Uh-huh.
And then when he jumped up, I went to start smashing him with them locks.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't stop till the guards come in and stopped me.
Yeah.
I had him running all over the place. You know, the lights came on. The guards come in running and telling me to put the locks down. And I wasn't about to do it neither. I wasn't going to stop.
Yeah.
I spent a year and a half for SEG for that and got a street charge for that too, which was later dropped at another time.
Was the guy injured pretty bad?
Yeah, he had to go to the hospital.
And when he came back from the hospital and you came back from SEG, were you both still in the same penitentiary?
No, they move you around to another farm somewhere.
So did they move you or him?
Him. Because he's a known booty bandit. He was known for raping people, so.
Piece of shit.
Yep. Now,
and I imagine after that, nobody else probably tried you after that, huh?
No, I never had too many problems after that. I had a reputation that I would do what I had to do, so most guys just left me alone. Now, Texas is a whole different ball game. When you come in here, they're going to. The first thing you're going to...
you told me about that. Let's get into that. Are you sure that happens to everybody?
Everybody.
Because I've never heard that story before.
Everybody, no matter who you are. I don't care if you're white, black, Mexican, whoever you are.
Yeah.
When you come in, you're going to get checked. You don't go to your cell, you don't go to your bed, you put your stuff up because they're going to find out whether you're going to stand up, be a man or not. And they're going to tell you punks over here and men over here.
Yeah.
And that's that. And then when you come in,
a dormitory?
A dormitory, or if it's a pod with cells. I mean, when you first come in, the only way you can go to a dorm in Texas is for good behavior. You have to be able to behave. But when you first get in, your race is going to come up and ask you, who are you with?
Yeah.
And then they're going to tell you, well, you don't talk to these, and you don't do this, and you don't do that, and are you okay with that? And they say, yeah, and then they're going to say, go catch the shower, and then they're going to send somebody
Who
from
are you with? That means what gang, if any, you're affiliated with?
Right. I mean, well, you can ride solo in prison. You don't have to get down with nobody. I mean, that's, and besides, there are certain criteria for getting down with people anyways. But just fighting is not a cry. I mean, you have to be a stand-up to get in a gang. You have to be down for your gang. If they say you got to go do something, you got to go do it. So,
did you know this was going to happen before
you
checked in?
I knew because when you come through a diagnostic center, everybody talks about that. When you come in on the chain, to the farm you're going to.
But you probably didn't believe it, did you?
No, I didn't. I thought it was a bunch of. I've never been checked before like that in any other prison. They check you.
Did that just start in Texas, you think?
No, it's been like that since the first day one. It's always been like that.
Really?
They have a policy now.
So what happened to you again? You come in, and somebody tell you can't go to your pod. You got to go to the shower first.
Yep.
That's white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went to the shower, and what happened?
We had to fight it. Had check paper. Checking paper means fighting. That's what they're doing. They're checking you out to see what you're about. They're going to try to break you down and see if you're going to give up or quit.
Yeah.
And either you're going to fight and you're going to win, or you ain't.
You're in the shower. You're in the shower alone, right?
Yeah.
Who comes in first?
The whites do.
For you, but if you were black, it'd be some black guys.
Well, now back in the day, before the gang, see, that's what used to happen real bad because the whites were minority in Texas prison. Back in the day, the blacks or Mexicans would come and check you instead of your own kind.
Yeah.
Because they felt like they could just do that. That was before white gangs started. And the
like the AB, right?
Right, like the AB and some other gangs, which I really don't want to elaborate on.
That. So, how many guys come in the shower to greet you?
One.
Just one guy?
One from each race.
Was it one or was it three?
No, you get one. You fight one for a couple minutes, and then he'll go out, and then another one will come in, and he'll go out, and then another
So
one
a white
come
guy
in.
came in first, and you
Yep.
fought him for a
Yep.
couple of minutes,
Yep.
and then what?
And then after that, I waited for the next one.
And who was that?
That's black.
Black guy?
Yep.
And it was only for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's only for a couple. The whole thing don't last no more than 10 or 15 minutes. The guards know that's standard policy, so they don't. They don't get in the middle of that.
Tradition, huh?
Yeah, they know, and all guards are like this when when new guys come in, they know what it is. You're gonna run around with black eyes for the first
So
couple
let's
weeks.
say you get somebody who's like a white collar criminal, somebody who did some kind of banking fraud, or who's,
Don't matter.
Who's not the fighting type. What does a guy like that do? Do they usually start crying or what?
Well, either they're gonna break them, or
In other words, if they refuse to fight,
well, if they refuse to fight, then they tell them to get out of the pod and go somewhere else, or they're gonna get approached by a booty bandit, and they're gonna make them their punks.
so you have a choice what pod to live in.
No, you don't. The security makes that choice for you. Classification does.
So they make you go to security and ask to relocate.
Well, that's usually what happens. Or some guys just get so scared they hit the panic button and run.
Yeah.
But you can't get out of the pod. You got to hit the button like this to get their attention to open the door up.
Yeah, like a buzzer.
Yeah, because the doors, you don't have access to your, like here in Texas, the doors slide back and forth.
So you had to fight three guys, a
Yep.
white, then a black, then a Mexican. Because there's basically three.
Three races.
Yeah. So did you get hurt?
Yeah, I got beat up.
Did you break in and get any bones broken?
No, not.
Bloody blood?
Oh yeah,
bloody
black
nose,
black
bloody
eyes,
mouth?
busted mouth, busted ears,
Uh-huh.
blood everywhere.
And did they say anything to you afterwards?
No, you just shake hands, and it's when you come out of the shower, you clean yourself up, and you shake hands, and then you go get in your cell with your cellie, and that's the end of it.
Are they 2-man cells or 4-man?
Yeah,
or
here
what?
in Texas, they're two-man cells, unless you're in SEG or high security.
How do you think they sort people? Is there any rhyme and reason to who they sell you with, or is it just random?
No, well, no. In Texas, they sell you with somebody who's within 50 pounds of your own weight, within 5 to 10 years of your age. They do it accordingly.
Oh,
like
so they
that.
size you up. They put somebody.
Yeah,
put you
because
with
so that way
somebody
he can't
about
overpower you.
Right.
They're not gonna put you.
Well, that's smart.
But see, in Texas though, what they don't consider is, a guy might have a 40-year sentence and did 30 years of his sentence, but still have 10 years before he can be released, or 20 years.
Yeah.
You might have a 10-year sentence, but are eligible for parole within a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
And you ain't got no business being in a cell with somebody like that.
Why? Because they don't care about consequences of messing up.
No, it's not just the consequences. They just don't care. Period. You don't have no business being in a cell. It's hard to live with people in prison.
What's different about them than short timers, long timers versus short timers?
Well, I mean, it depends what type of individual it is.
And how they act. I mean.
If they're a convict, they just kick back, lay back, do their time, but they're all set in their ways.
Yeah.
They're real funny. They want to control the cell. They want it to be a certain way. And
They want to
rule the roost.
Yeah, they want to run you like you're their employee or something.
Well, no, it ain't necessarily like that, but they want you to cater to them.
Yeah, they want to make the decisions that are to be made.
Instead of being too.
Like who sleeps on the top bunk and who sleeps on the bottom.
I've had fights with cellies for that very reason, because they just try to hog you into doing what you want. I've had fights with cellies like that before. But
do they do stuff like demand part of your commissary if you get
no.
commissary?
You got your respect. They ain't gonna demand no shit, nothing like that.
But do they ask you for it and get mad?
Well, if they ain't
got
no money or something like that, you don't share with them. That's not really cool, anyways. You need to share with your
that's
cellie.
good. That's good. That's.
But I'm
fair.
talking about like cleaning now. Cleanliness. Some guys are clean freaks.
Yeah.
And man, if you come in and you don't clean the way as often as they think you should, or the way they think you should,
they're probably obsessed with it. They've only got a
Well,
small area to deal with.
Well, a man's got to do his time some kind of way. They find a way. That's how they do their time.
Yeah. Did you see anybody get killed in prison?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have in Louisiana. I've seen it several times.
Really?
Yes.
What kind of fights were those? Were those fights with shanks or some kind of weapon?
Weapons. And I heard, and there was a lot of people get killed here in Texas too while I was there. Where one cellie strangled his cellie with a hot pot cord and choked him till he was dead.
Yeah.
One guy beat his cellie repeatedly and wouldn't let him out of his cell to go eat, and he killed him in there. And the guards finally come in to do a count and found out the guy was dead.
Beat him with his bare fist?
Bare fist, beat him to death.
Yeah.
Beat him for days.
Anybody know what it was over or what it was about?
No, but it was them punks I was telling you about in that building.
Yeah.
The guy, here was the problem. The guy who did it, the reason why he had a life sentence because he killed his cellie in county jail. So he killed 2 cellies.
Jeez. You would think they would put a guy like that in SAG right from the start.
Well, that's what you would think too, but apparently, and I seen the guy one time when I was in medical too. I mean, you could tell he was a psycho, you know. He's just a little bitty-o guy too. You would never guess that he was like that. You know, that's the whole thing about who you sell with too. You know, it's not easy to go to sleep the first few nights.
Yeah.
Because if you're not comfortable with an individual, you know, it's hard to sell with them, and it's hard to get out of a cell too, to get into another cell.
Probably makes a big difference who you end up with as a cellmate. If it's a good guy, your time's probably not too bad.
Well, if you get an understanding and get your respect with them, you know, if you respect each other, then you can have a good cellie. I know guys who sell together for 10, 15, 20 years. They're not queers or none of that. They're just good friends.
But if you get somebody who's like, if you don't get along with them, then that makes your time even more
it makes your time hard.
Huh?
It makes it hard. It makes it hard. And, you know, a lot of guys are constantly doing that, writing letters to classification, asking to get moved. That's why everybody likes to live in the dorms and wants to behave, is because you got your own little cubicle. You got, you know, 2 walls that separate you between you and the other person, one on this side, one on this side, and you got a little table.
For people out there who have never been to prison, let's say they mess up and they get a 5-year bid, a 5-year sentence. They're going to be eligible for parole in a year. They might get out in a year or 2.
It depends what it's for. If it's an aggravated crime, they might do all of it every day.
Yeah, but my question is, say a guy for his first time in prison does 1 year and then paroles. In that 1 year, how many fights can he expect to be in?
Well, it depends how he carries himself. That's the slang.
Let's say he doesn't back down and he doesn't allow himself to be punked or raped.
Well, if they respect,
how many fights is he going to have to be
well,
in?
if he has respect, he ain't got to fight a whole lot. It depends if the guy's a bully. There's lots of bullies in prison too, regardless whether they
I don't mean a bully. I mean just an average guy who does his first prison sentence.
Well, he's going to fight a few times. I mean,
he's going to have to. Isn't
yeah, he is. I've seen some guys though, John, that come in and they ain't never got to fight one time.
Yeah.
Ain't never got to fight because they have their respect automatically.
Probably because they've been there before and they're known, right?
Well, no, it's just how they carry themselves.
Yeah.
You know, if you carry yourself like a man,
yeah,
everybody's gonna treat you like a man. If you carry yourself like a punk or not punk, I mean a queer.
Yeah.
I mean just like a punk.
Yeah.
If you're a fucking jerk or whatever, you're gonna have problems.
Or if you're a guy who runs his mouth all the time and smarts off to people a lot, you're gonna get in a lot of fights.
Yes, you're gonna have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But if they're a gang member, that's not so, because he has all his gang members
protecting him.
Well, not to protect him means if he runs his mouth and anybody else bows up to him, you know, he'll have to go to square with them. But if anybody gets in it,
yeah,
they have riots there all the time, John. I've seen 2 or 3 riots too, where the entire rec yard goes to swinging.
Yeah, you see those on YouTube sometimes.
Oh, it happens a lot. It happens a lot here in Texas, and I've seen a whole horde of Mexicans stab the shit out of blacks here in Texas. Now, in Louisiana,
the numbers are about evened up now, aren't they, between black, white, and Hispanic?
Well,
or it's probably in 25 Hispanic and white.
In Texas, yes, but in Louisiana, it's about 90% black.
But the Hispanic population's growing as a whole. They're already up to a third.
Oh, there's a lot of Hispanics. There's a lot of Mexicans in prison.
You're probably going to see blacks, Hispanics, and whites as the minority.
Well, there's a lot of there's more whites.
Whites just now out of curiosity, do when they take sides, do Hispanics usually side with the whites or the blacks?
Usually the whites.
Yeah. Yeah. So that makes it, that kind of evens things up if there's more blacks, if they,
I mean, everything is business. Everything is business, and it's all about respect. If you disrespect, you can expect to have a problem.
in the county jails, when there's a TV and there's 80% or 90% black guys, they control what's being shown on TV.
Well, in a county, not necessarily. If you got one bold guy who's willing to stand up and fight them all, I've
Is
seen
it the same way in prison? That
No, there's two TVs. One is for one is for movie news and stuff like that, and there's another one for sports. It stays on sports all day long.
Can the inmates change the channel?
No, the officers come in and do a channel
That's
check.
good. That's good, because in the county they just let them change it themselves.
But
so they're
there's-
fighting over what to watch.
Well, what they do is this too: is the inmates steal the remotes, and there is remotes. There's remotes, throughout the prison.
Yeah.
And guys change the channel all the time. I mean,
We're up to 21 minutes, Marv. We better cut it off here.
okay.
This has been Tales from Texas Prison with Marvin Sullivan. I'm John Merritt. Have a good evening.
Good evening. Oh, I could go on forever about that subject. I've seen a lot of fights in the showers, though.